Look, and like I said just a few minutes ago, 55 most profitable corporations in America paid zero in federal income taxes on what amounted to $40 billion in profit. Not a penny. That's not right. My economic plan will change that. Not punish anybody, just make them pay their fair share.
Biden's hysteria, along with that of the scholar class, is much ado
So, what are they doing?
about nothing. They all miss that as tax-paying entities, corporations are a fiction. Corporations aren't owned by robots or by some imaginary other. Corporations are owned by people. These people chose to delay consumption of their income or wealth so that they could invest the money. Their ownership of shares, their enjoyment of returns on some of those shares, is a remuneration of abstinence. They're shareholders because they used some of the wealth that was left over after paying taxes to commit capital to new ideas. Which brings us to a statistic that is fairly routinely reported in the New York Times. The top 10% of American earners own 85% of public company shares. When you think about it, the number makes sense. Not everyone has money left over after paying for a combination of life's necessities and luxuries. Since most don't, we're reminded of how important the rich are to progress. Precisely because they're rich, they've got unspent wealth. Again, it's the wealth that's left over after taxes, along with the purchase of necessities and luxuries, that makes businesses of all sizes possible. There are no entrepreneurs and businesses without investment, and the rich, more often than not, provide the investment that creates new businesses and enables the expansion of others, after they've paid taxes. It's worth remembering also that investing capably is no easy feat. Some shares implode as a consequence of a company not adjusting to always evolving market conditions, and some slide to zero altogether. To direct one's savings to new and existing businesses is to risk losing all of those savings. As for the investments that bear fruit, a big tax bill awaits the shareholders who sell after enjoying a nice return. Basically, government shows up if your intrepid capital commitment to a corporation bears fruit, but the same government isn't waiting with cash assuming your investment goes to zero. The main thing is that a corporation is owned by people, and in particular, people who pay a lot in the way of taxes. As is well known, the rich account for the vast majority of taxes collected by the IRS. That they do rejects Biden's over-the-top wailing about tax code injustice. For Biden to say otherwise, for him to say that corporate tax hikes and closure of alleged corporate tax loopholes would amount to fairness, would be for Biden to misspeak twice.
So,
For one, since corporations largely only exist insofar as individuals put after-tax capital to work, this ranting about what's right amounts to Biden implicitly saying that the IRS hasn't gotten enough of our individual income such that the taxman will take another swipe at it through the fiction that is corporate tax. Call the latter double taxation of individual earnings.
Mr. President, what did you order?
chocolate chip.
Second, for Biden to take a fairness stance on the tax code is for him to protest quite a bit more than too much. That is so because Biden surely must know why everyone related to him, and many who worked for him, grew so well-to-do, and even rich, during his time in the Senate. Politicians know that money finds its way to them, family members, and friends when they ascend to positions of power.
I can tell you that after careful consideration, a system has been established that allows for Hunter Biden to work in his profession within reasonable safeguards.
Applied to Biden, the tax code is what it is because politicians and their families enjoy the trappings of wealth too.
And that's how it all begins. Big corporations and the super wealthy have to start paying their fair share of taxes. It's long overdue. I'm not out to punish anyone. I'm a capitalist.
And they attain wealth by gaming the tax system.
I don't know what I would have done if ice cream were not invented. I just wonder.
As for corporate taxes, they've been paid and will be paid in gargantuan amounts. So long as the tax code penalizes work and investment, corporate taxes will be enormously high. Call them what they are: taxes on individual earnings that harm the individual, and that by extension harm the corporations that operate within what we call an economy.
I'm big on ice cream, and that puts me in real trouble. You know what I mean?